We usually think of Lois Griffin as the grounded voice of reason in the Griffin house. But if you look closely, she actually has a completely unhinged, psychopathic side.
Mom, I forgot my keys. Do you know where?
Today we are breaking down the worst things Lois Griffin has done in Family Guy. Let's start the show. Kicking off our list with Season 9, Episode 9. And I'm Joyce Kenny. What happens when a dark secret from your past gets broadcast to the entire town? Well, Lois finds out the hard way, but her response to the scandal is what really pushes her over the edge. Let's break it down. The drama starts when Quahog gets a brand new news anchor named Joyce Kenny. Lois is incredibly impressed by her and instantly becomes a huge fan.
So inspiring.
After dragging the family to church and getting a quick reminder from Stewie to lay off the communion wine so she doesn't puke on him again. Lois bumps into Joyce at a local bake sale. Lois completely fangirls over the news anchor, and Joyce is nice enough to give her a private tour of the station.
You know, the news is so much better with you on it.
Well, you know, Lois, I'm on my way back to the station after lunch. I'd be happy to give you a tour.
The two hit it off and end up spending the night drinking together, bonding over their darkest secrets. Feeling totally comfortable, Lois confesses that back in college she starred in a spicy underground adult film called Quest for Fur.
Oh, wake me up when you got something good.
Oh my goodness, sarcastic sleeping. That puts a lot of pressure on me.
But the very next day, Lois tunes into the news only to see her own face on the screen. Joyce actually broadcasts Lois's highly inappropriate secret to the entire town. Feeling completely betrayed, Lois storms into the news station to confront her. That's when the ultimate plot twist drops. Joyce reveals that they actually went to high school together, and Lois was her absolute worst bully. And we aren't talking about just calling her names. Lois lied to Joyce about making the cheer squad, blindfolded her, and humiliated her in front of the entire school with a gross hot dog prank. Suddenly, Lois's whole sweet housewife act completely falls apart, and you realize she caused this woman a lifetime of trauma.
I thought we were friends. The kind of really good friends that communicate with each other poorly through Facebook.
Her terrible past gets her kicked right out of her beloved church. Brian tries to help by telling her to face her problems head-on, but Lois takes that advice way too literally.
I mean, he's still gay, but now it's no fun to joke about it because he beat us to the punch.
My God.
The following week, she marches right back into the church and proudly screens her spicy adult film for the entire congregation. I mean, good for her for reclaiming her confidence, I guess. But the fact that she completely brushed over the absolute torment she caused Joyce just proves how unapologetic and toxic she really is.
Oh, look at that. See, now I'm really starting to get suspicious.
Somebody order a pizza?
Coming in hot with our next entry, we have Season 5, Episode 6, Prick Up Your Ears. What happens when a high school cancels its health class and enforces strict abstinence instead? Well, Lois decides to prove a point by completely crossing the line and aggressively forcing Peter to break his newfound celibacy. Let's get into it. It all starts with every parent's worst nightmare. Lois walks in on Chris and his friends watching some highly questionable, spicy videos. Oh, and Stewie is hanging out right there with them, just to make things extra disturbing. Chris tries to defend himself, claiming he has to learn somehow because the school cut funding and fired the health teacher.
Well, somebody's got to step in. Tomorrow, I'm going down to James Woods High and offer to teach the class myself.
Hearing this, Lois steps up and volunteers to teach the class herself. And you can just imagine the lifetime of trauma Chris is about to endure. Lois tries to teach the kids about protection, but then Peter bursts in to offer his own completely useless expertise.
Now, there are a number of natural ways that males and females interact, and...
That's right. Allow me to demonstrate. Hey, Rainbow Bright. Hello, Shakespeare.
Their combined efforts are an absolute disaster, sparking a massive protest from the local parents. As a result, Lois gets fired, and the school brings in a strict reverend to teach an abstinence-only seminar. The reverend feeds the kids absolute nonsense, claiming that protection fails 100% of the time and is incredibly dangerous. Shockingly, the students actually buy into it. Even Meg comes home with a book full of anti-intimacy propaganda. Naturally, Peter is the only other person in the house gullible enough to read it and completely brainwash himself, immediately vowing to become totally celibate.
I'll be as untouched as the turn signal in an Asian woman's car.
How much signal I need to cut across 8 lane? None?
Later that night, Lois decides it's time for a little bedroom roleplay to snap him out of it. She steps into the room dressed as Grimacy from McDonald's. Yes, really. But when she tries to get things going, she discovers Peter has locked himself in an actual Frustrated, she drops the giant purple costume and storms into Meg's room to complain about the propaganda book, but she immediately catches Meg and her boyfriend getting plenty of action. Let's just say Meg found a very weird, highly unhygienic loophole involving her ear to stay technically abstinent. Yeah, we're going to just skip right past that visual.
Well, I don't care what you think. Doug and I are part of the Opal Ring Crusade, and this is how we choose to express our love.
Furious that she's the only one not getting any attention, Lois marches back into her bedroom to deal with Peter. And this is where Lois loses any redeeming qualities she ever had. She tries to tempt Peter, but when he refuses, she literally forces herself on him against his will. Because this is Family Guy, it's just played off as a joke once Peter realizes he actually enjoys it, but wow, Lois, you really took that way too far. To wrap things up, Lois and Peter break into the school assembly to expose the Reverend's lies. She lectures the kids on the importance of boundaries and consent, which is incredibly sweet, but also hilariously ironic considering what she just did to her husband 20 minutes ago.
And if you do make the choice to act on them, make sure you protect yourselves.
Coming in at number 3 on our list, we have Season 11, Episode 6, Lois Comes Out of Her Shell. We all know midlife crises can make people do crazy things, but Lois takes it to a whole new level by sneaking into a famous pop star's dressing room. Let's break it down. The whole mess is actually started by Peter, who completely ruins Lois's birthday party by constantly reminding her that she is getting older. The speech he gives is so incredibly brutal that it leaves her running off in tears.
What were once two firm, impressive mountain peaks have become a barren, strip-mined, muddy landslide that droops ever downward.
The very next day, Lois debuts a completely brand new look, complete with blonde highlights, a new sports car, and a highly questionable lower back tattoo. She basically looks like she's ready to host a wild MTV Spring Break special.
No, that's great, actually, because now anyone walking behind you will know that you had $60.
Everyone in the family is understandably concerned about her mental state, except for Peter, who actually loves this new, wild version of his wife and totally joins in on the fun.
Destroy me and this laundry.
Put Meg's bra in your mouth.
Oh my god, that's so disturbing!
I know, gross!
The two of them go on a massive bender of partying and reckless driving. But it doesn't take long for Peter to realize he absolutely cannot keep up with this youthful lifestyle, so he taps out and leaves Lois to hit the town all by herself.
My life isn't over. It's just beginning. So if you don't want to run with the wild horses, then go back to the barn and go to bed.
Back at the house, Brian gives Peter a much-needed reality check, explaining that Peter's constant age jokes are exactly what broke Lois's confidence in the first place. Suddenly, they see a live news report about a Justin Bieber concert happening right in Quahog, and Lois is right there in the crowd.
Look!
That's Mom!
Oh my god!
What the hell? She's at a Justin Bieber concert?
Ugh, Justin Bieber's so yesterday.
Peter rushes to the concert to get his wife back, but Lois has already managed to sneak backstage into the singer's private dressing room by bribing a security guard with frozen yogurt. Once inside, things get super creepy really fast as Lois tries flirting with the 18-year-old pop star using totally outdated references. When that fails, she aggressively tries to force herself on the terrified teenager. Thankfully, Peter bursts through the door just in time to put a stop to things before Lois does something unforgivable. He apologizes for making her feel bad and promises he loves her exactly the way she is now. It's a genuinely sweet moment, even if they casually walk out without ever apologizing to the pop star for the highly inappropriate encounter. Coming in at the number 1 spot for the absolute worst thing Lois has ever done, we have Season 8, Episode 13, Go, Stewie, Go. What happens when the family punching bag actually manages to bring home a totally normal, handsome boyfriend? Well, Lois gets incredibly insecure and decides the best course of action is to literally steal him right behind her daughter's back. Let's get into this absolute disaster. The madness kicks off when Meg drops a massive bombshell on the family. She actually has a boyfriend, and she wants to bring him over for dinner. Naturally, Peter and Lois are incredibly skeptical, and honestly, we all were, but they agree to let him come around. When her new guy, Justin, finally shows up, the surprises just keep coming. He is totally normal. The entire town basically gathers at the house to investigate this anomaly. Even Dr. Hartman shows up to give him a quick checkup and confirms that there is absolutely nothing wrong with the guy. Sure, it's incredibly insulting to Meg, but we're just going to laugh and roll with it.
Has anybody ever told you you're pretty enough to be a movie star, Mrs. Griffin?
Oh my goodness, well, I don't know about that.
During dinner, the parents get to know Justin, and he is nothing but polite. But then he makes a fatal error. He innocently compliments Lois, telling her she is so pretty she could be a movie star. And just like that, the creepy gears in Lois's head start turning. One simple compliment is all it takes for Lois to start fantasizing about a life with Justin.
I bet you taste like Mountain Dew and Starburst.
But she doesn't just keep it in her head. She immediately crosses the line by handing him a highly inappropriate card detailing her personal monthly cycle, making it very clear she wants to get him alone. Yeah, we are firmly in psycho territory now.
Oh, by the way, Meg, I forgot to tell you, your grandfather needs you to pick him up at the airport.
Grandpa always makes me so nervous when I'm driving.
Her dark opportunity arrives when Meg leaves the house to pick up Carter from the airport. The second the door shuts, Lois aggressively makes her move on the teenager. And Justin, well, he's totally fine with the attention from an older woman and just rolls with it. Lois, on the other hand, just looks sad, desperate, and completely out of line. But believe it or not, making a move on her teenage daughter's boyfriend isn't even the worst part of this episode. Later on, Lois goes to talk to Meg, who is understandably furious. Lois tries to offer a terrible apology, claiming she never meant to steal Justin. Meg immediately catches that phrasing and fires back, but Lois doubles down. She insults Meg to her face, proudly bragging that if she actually wanted to steal him, she easily could. To make things even worse, Lois then tries to play the victim. She completely lies, making a highly serious claim that Justin forced himself on her, just to save her own skin. And her grand finale? She blames Peter for the whole thing, yelling that he made her feel so old and unattractive that she had no choice but to seek validation from a high schooler. So just to recap, she completely betrays her daughter, lies about an incredibly serious accusation, gives the worst apology in history, and blames her husband for her own terrible actions. Lois Griffin, ladies and gentlemen, Quahog's resident narcissist and an absolute fully fledged psychopath.